They're trying to mess with your ability to vote, just to break it all down. You've got the Supreme Court. They just sealed the deal with this case that just came up recently, the Calais decision, which basically took the power out of the Voting Rights Act, which was designed to protect your right to vote. So you got the Supreme Court doing its thing. Then this president is trying to push this SAVE Act, which basically would require that for people, you're going to have proof of who you are. You're trying to mess with your ability.
I have to have proof of who you are to vote. That's right. Proof of who you are to vote. What's up, everybody? So glad everybody's here tonight. So nice for everybody to be here. I forgot a couple things to do here. Crap. I hope everything's working. Everything sounds right. It's been a while. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've been together that I almost forgot how to do a show. Looks like a horse that rode hard and got put away wet. You ain't kidding. New computer? No, not a new computer. I just fixed the computer. I posted a video. The show is late tonight, very late tonight, because the parts didn't arrive until almost 7 p.m. Then by the time I got everything done, it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then I had to edit the video, upload the video, wait for the checks to go through and everything on YouTube. And so as soon as everything was cleared and uploaded on YouTube, I set up a live stream to come and be live with all of you folks here that I loved and missed so much that I had to be here with you guys. Would a cheap mascot be called a Timu Limu Emu? That could be. It's possible. Good evening. I'm anxious to hear an update about your computer. Well, it's working. You know, it's working. Here it is. It's right here. It's working. And there's a 48 video. The video would have been longer, but I had to record it on my cell phone, and I fully charged my cell phone prior to starting the recordings. And then all of a sudden, like, the video just ends because that's when my phone died, and I didn't realize my phone died until I was like, oh crap, I was already like wrapping up, and I was like, what do I do? So I just said that was it. That was the video. So it's posted, it's live, it's like 48, 49 minutes long. I edited out a bunch of stuff, but, I don't know. I didn't know an iPhone could only record for like an hour and a half total, and then it's going to die without being plugged in. I didn't know that. I thought it would, go, 3-4 hours on a full charge. What's up, Jay Liebgott? Good to see you. I want to thank everybody who's here tonight. Woodtick Mike, good to see you. Yes. What Muffin Rando? Awesome to have you here. HJ Remy, remember to slap that like button. That's right. He's back. Thank you, Doc. G Sharkman, what's up? Hi. How you doing, Jim Somniacs? James O. Jamesy O. Jimbo, Jimsy O. Jambo. Late show. Well, it is what it is. Yes. Let's hope it's good now after all you had to do. Well, I hope so. It's Sylvia says, don't hide the red wine in your PC next time. It's not now. It's clear. I turned the wine into water now. Morning Doom says, was wondering if you were sick. Glad to know you're okay. No, I tried to let everybody know that it was a computer issue. There was a short posted, but I understand if people couldn't see it. Michelle's here. Yay. What's up? Great to see you. So Lady Bam is here too. Time for a new iPhone. It might be, right? Because that's not, I mean, it's a 15 or something, I think, or 16. I don't know. Thanks for all the work you put in. It's like, well, thank you so much. Please call me Libby. All my friends do. That's right. iPhones are great mobile streaming platforms, especially with RAM being just as expensive. You ain't kidding. What's up, Scott? Good to see you too. Yeah. So, I wanted to stream because it's been several days. I missed you guys. I figured you missed me. And the video, it's just a video. It's not really, we're not talking to each other. We're not hanging out. So I figured, Bella's been missing you guys. I missed you guys. So there's news to talk about. There's always news to talk about. Maureen, what's up? So glad you're back. Thanks for being here. Sneaky Sean's here too. What's up? So we'll do some news. What's up, DK Spiracy? Great to see you. So we'll do some news, some topics. There was a lot of things that I really wanted to talk about the last couple days, and I couldn't. I have an old computer, and I did try to stream with Joe on Thursday night, and my computer just couldn't do it. It just can't handle it. It's okay for doing stuff, like around the house, but for some reason, streaming does not work with a 10-year-old computer. So let's do this. Oil prices today are $77, so down $1.10 on the day. So I was hoping we'd see them a lot lower. I haven't heard anything about any about any per se news about the war. Has anybody heard anything about a war or anything? No? Yeah, me neither. So let's see here. We'll get right into a quick little ditty about, about this guy right here. We got a migrant, AOL, a felony, absent without AOL from a felony case, murdered an 18-year-old at a party in June because he didn't recognize the victim as Tren de Aragua. Okay? A woman at the party was spared death because her killing would draw attention from ICE. This is crazy. So this is a Tren de Aragua member, all right? He was killed for not being in the gang. Not being recognized as in the gang. What's weird about this story is this is external battery. Well, I should have probably plugged it in, I guess. Should have plugged it in. So this is one of Boasberg's sympathy projects, murdered a man in Chicago. Just imagine how many TDA dirtbags would be out of the country and back in Venezuela had Boasberg and the Supreme Court not blocked the President's Alien Enemies Act proclamation signed in March of 2025. And we're still waiting on a delayed Fifth Circuit decision on the matter, so it get kicked back to SCOTUS for a final ruling, which will probably end up in the President's favor. Yeah, probably will. So we'll read about this story right here, about this guy from CWB, the Chicago blog. It's a great one. There's hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of these cretins. Oh, yes, they all got to go, too. They all got to go. Tren de Aragua member killed an 18-year-old at a party for not being in the gang. That was worded poorly? Well, I'm sorry. I wonder if member identification has something to do with tattoos. It could. It could. A member of Venezuela's notoriously violent Tren de Aragua, already AWOL from a pending felony case, shot and killed a man at a New City party in June for no apparent reason other than not recognizing him. Excuse me, sir. This is the new channel. Who are you? I am me, and me am you. I am back to say hello to you, Joe. What gang do you belong to? I'm not a Tren de Aragua member. So, yeah. So it says here that the prosecutors say that Luis Suarez Vasquez is the 10th person accused of killing or attempting to kill someone in Chicago this year while awaiting trial on a felony case. So these people are out on felony bond, and they're still killing people. 3 of those 10 defendants are members of Tren de Aragua. At 5:15 a.m., On June 14th, 18-year-old Yaquer Rodriguez Vera and a 19-year-old woman and a 17-year-old boy went to a party at the 1700 block of West Garfield Boulevard. Now, if you guys don't know Chicago, Garfield Boulevard is also known as 55th Street. So 1700 West 55th Street. I am the Eggman. I am the Shark Man. I am the Walrus. Cuckoo, Kachu. When they arrived, Vera pointed out Suarez Vasquez to the woman, identified him as Nando, someone he knew from Wells Community Academy High School. They approached the group with a gun protruding from his waistband, identified himself as a member of Tren de Aragua, and checked Vera and Rodriguez and the woman for weapons. Neither one had them. Then they accused him of being a witch, meaning was not a member of the gang. Within moments, several other armed men prevented the victims from leaving, photographed them, and demanded their phones. An identified woman came out of another room and said she would determine who the victims were and that no one was going to die. The 19-year-old woman who was taken in another room by the unidentified woman, who then video called a mutual acquaintance to see whether the person would vouch for the group. The acquaintance declined to get involved. Wow, this is kind of crazy, isn't it? Just like they're just going to kill people that show up to a party after they refused to vouch for the victims. Armed men, but Chicago's a weapon-free zone. It is, yes. But generally, when they say weapons-free, that means like when the military says weapons-free, that means just people fire, free fire zone. Joe for 2 says, glad you're back, my friend. Well, thank you. Wow, that sounded very loud to me. Thank you for the 2. That means now, folks, we are 98 away from adding a first additional hour and 48 away from television. I didn't even talk about the goal tonight because, well, if we hit it, we hit it. And we're just going to talk and hang out for a while and, you know, trying to knock the dust off and, you know, get back into the way of the world, you know. So after they refused to vouch, 2 men told the unidentified woman to leave the girls alone because it was hot. The female victims interpreted the comments meaning that harming women could attract attention from ICE. At that point, the female victim saw Suarez Vasquez and Vera on a FaceTime call with an unidentified person. They explained he was not selling drugs and was not involved with another gang. The person on the call said he did not recognize them and that they could do what they wanted to him. This is like a crazy. Luckily, they all get recorded as white. They do. Hey, Sylvie, great to see you. So police later recovered 13 shell casings from 3 firearms at the scene. So wow, they just lit him up. Oh wait, ads are on. Uh-oh. My fault. I will fix that right now. In the boats while traveling, rats claim women and children are witches and throw them overboard. They're evil. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, Tiberius, good to see you. Thanks for being here. I will shut the ads off. I forgot. It's been a long time. I got to knock the rust off. It takes a little while, you know, to get things, back on track. The way they were. Did they all get arrested? I don't think anybody got arrested. You're alive and started streaming on same at about same as Leaven, who also has computer problems that prevented him from streaming. Wow, that's crazy. Thanks for being here, Kofi. Holding it down over there on the kick. So investigators obtained surveillance video and audio from the outside the apartment. The shooting itself was partially captured when the apartment door opened and closed as people moved through the doorway. Cell site data showed Vasquez's phone in the area at the time of the shooting. Vasquez was arrested July 19th in Kentucky and extradited to Markham, where he had a pending narcotics case. The case stems from his February 10th arrest in Chicago Heights on a charge of possessing less than 15 grams of cocaine. He had a warrant issued March 3rd. He also has a juvenile case for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and retail theft. Wow. He was on a pretrial release for a nighttime curfew in the matter when he was killed. Piquera noted that it's unknown whether Suarez Vasquez has juvenile background or arrest dating to his time in Venezuela. So after his arrest, he admitted to being at the party but denied taking part in the shooting. So last month, federal officials say that 3 Tren de Aragua gang members kidnapped an 18-year-old man from a Southside park this spring, beat him to death, shot his body multiple times, and then called his mother from Venezuela to tell her where she could find the body. Only 2 of those accused men have been publicly identified. Hey, what's up, Casper? Great to see you. Records show they both supposed to be on court-ordered electronic monitoring. Well, that's the thing. They're on monitoring, but nobody's monitoring the monitors. They're not monitoring it. You know, they had felony gun cases at the time of the murder. So we got illegal aliens that are gang members that are been declared terrorist organization by the Trump administration. But, you know, Boasberg says, no, you can't call them terrorists, and other people, and they're fighting it. And these guys are just running around killing people, you know, catching gun cases. They shouldn't be out running around. So, the number of murders and shootings committed by people awaiting trial for felony allegations is undoubtedly much higher than the number seen here. Since 2017, CPD has brought charges in less than 5% of non-fatal shootings and only 33% of murders. So you got that. So listen, less than 5% of non-fatal shootings and only 33% of murders they brought charges in. You can see that they're not all horrible stories here. Hey, what's up, Bill? How you doing? Yeah. I mean, look at this. Oh, alleged victims of not horrible cases. So 2 murders in 2026. Oh, look at that. 41. Wow. That's just crazy, isn't it? It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, I could do this. I do have some other stuff I was going to pull up, but we're going to do a little Twitter game here today. I don't know if you guys saw this. You guys see this? Mike Rowe was hanging out with Bill Maher and talking about, 13 years ago, how people gave him a hard time because, both sides basically gave him a hard time. And so this is an interesting point here. And that's sad because Mike Rowe he's not a political guy. He's a facts guy, talking about like what people need to do and things that need to happen. And the fact that anybody would criticize him for having a conversation with somebody, the only people you can't have a conversation with is communists because they're just trying to find a way to kill you and take your stuff. So talking to them is just not a good idea. But pretty much everybody else, anybody reasonable you could have a conversation with, And if anybody ever tells you can't have a conversation with somebody else, that's probably the person you should not talk to anymore. Because, anybody who'll tell you not to talk to somebody, like I'm joking about not talking to communists. I won't talk to communists because I just want to give them free helicopter rides. I don't want to talk to them. I want to give them transportation. Still waiting for him to do a show about machines, Mike Rowe machines. Yes. You can't have conversation with Nazis for the same reasons. Mike Rowe is a national treasure, and speaking of quotable QVC hosts, did you hear a woman selling wigs talk about getting a blowjob? I did see that one. I did see that video, yes. Mike talks about things like plumbing computers. He does. Yes. I don't like Maher, but I don't give a fuck who he talks to. Yeah, I don't care. Here's the thing. Bill Maher, I always thought Bill Maher was, think about this. Bill Maher 10 years ago was this crazy lefty. Now Bill Maher's like middle of the road guy, reasonable guy when it comes to Democrats. That's crazy. Hey, Ag, what's up? Thanks. Yes, I'm back. Thank you for being here. He should do boating shows. So Mike Rowe your boat. Sure. There you go. That's good. Mike Rowe helped give people an idea what's involved in many of these trade jobs. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. And it's not the only thing they talked about because there's another clip of them. It's another clip. This is a good one because talking about Bill Maher actually did a great monologue on socialism, and it's good, man. It's really. Well, here's the thing. Bill Maher always was left, JimTellsYou Jimbo, and he still is left. The problem is the left, the people on the left, the other people, they went running all the way over there, and so now Bill Maher is actually in the center, and Joe Rogan is actually far right now, according to them, when the way they shifted that what is left and right so far that, JFK would be considered alt-right now, Yeah, he said if the DSA wins the primary, his vote's on the table. Maher had his libertarian tendencies. He always was kind of libertarian, stuff like that, but like it was more like the left libertarian type of thing. The actual number of Nazis compared to the number of people accused by the left of being Nazis is minuscule. Oh yeah, it's crazy. There's like maybe 1,000 Nazis in the U.S. Crazy. I mean, that's the thing. They're borrowing money for jobs that there's no jobs for the type of stuff. It's no work. Yeah. Hey, if you listen to Obama talk about immigration, he sounds like Trump. The kicker, he was lying, and everybody knew he was lying. Eh? The radical far left considers Rogan, who's been center left most of his life, now alt right by those in UpX. Yeah, it's crazy. It is. It's crazy. Hey, Duck Fat. Yeah, this is the first live stream back. Yes, it is the first live stream back. Yeah, you listen to most Democrats 10, 15 years ago, they were saying the same things back then the Trump administration are now saying, and they're all racist Nazis. It is. Yes. Socialism has never been an uprising from the workers. No, it's never been. It's always been an uprising of the college elitist, academics. It's always been. Always been. He's right, but I blame them. Yeah, no, I know. So glad you're here. I'm going to put you on the TV. Well, thanks, Renee. Thanks for this. Thanks for being here too. So yeah. There's another video that I saw. I'm gonna try to find it. Did you guys see this? There's a video. There was a Democrat woman from let me find it. We'll get back to Mike Rowe in a second. Sorry, I'm a little it's just like a casual show tonight, folks. I need to find it. We're going to get to that in a second. Oh, here we go. This is the right one. So this is when will someone show black people and the black congressman at the Black Caucus and NAACP this video of the late, great Congresswoman Barbara Jordan of Texas. Perhaps they will understand that black people have always supported border security, and coming to this country isn't a right, it's a privilege. This was a very prominent Democrat woman in the Congress.
Is not a right guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution to everyone anywhere in the world who thinks they want to come to the United States. Immigration is a privilege. It is a privilege granted by the people of the United States to those we choose to admit. Many American workers do not have adequate job prospects. We should make their task easier to find employment, not harder. Is not a right.
That's right. What would they consider her today? You know, what exactly would they consider her today? What do you think, huh? They would probably say she's a racist. She's this, she's that, she's everything. Okay. We'll get to that in a second. Some more Mar. There's this story here that I wanted to talk about. So there was a man, I don't know if you guys saw this crazy man running around North Carolina beating up women, and filming it. And turns out, the sister of the man filming himself beating women in Charlotte, North Carolina just went public. Her message is horrifying. Her family begged to keep him locked up for nearly 10 years. They even personally contacted judges to ask him not to be released. Say, don't release this guy. You can't release him. But they did anyway. They released him. And the family said they called everyone they could for nearly a decade. His therapist, his attorneys, probation officers, judges. Please help us. How can we help our brother be institutionalized? You need to be in an institution. We got to get him medicated. We got to do something. This is just, crazy. It keeps going around. Now the sister's terrified that he walks again. Because, Dequan Hunt's criminal cases, the overwhelming majority were dismissed entirely. Out of 13 cases that have been brought against Dequan, 11 of them have been dismissed. At least 8 for assault, domestic violence, even discharging a firearm were all dismissed. And then this guy just runs around. This guy was running around beating women.
He's empty. He's broken. He's stalled.
This is how Daquan Hunt's sister describes it. She talked to us, but didn't want us to show her face or use her name.
From what I know, his diagnoses are paranoid schizophrenia, PTSD, and bipolar disorder.
Before police say Hunt attacked random victims in Dilworth, his sister says he was violent with her and her mother.
And he completely just flipped, and that turned into violence. And we had to call the cops then. And every time something has happened, yes, yes, things would get physical between he and I, or even my mom and him.
The sister says they have been trying to get him the mental and emotional help he needs for years.
Talking to anybody, you know, mentors, therapists, his probation officers, attorneys, judges, asking, please help us. You know, how can we get my brother in an institution? How can we get him, you know, medicated? How can we make a change? And it leads us back to the same thing all the time. He's released.
The family says they called police Monday to report the assault and the videos, and called officers again Thursday to give them an idea where he might be. Despite that, the sister says they have received multiple death threats.
Our safety has been threatened. My children have been threatened. People have come to my home. People have sent things to my home.
She is sorry about the assault and the trauma it caused, and that's why she is thankful that her brother is off the streets.
We did it because that lady deserves justice and anyone else that my brother has harmed.
The sister tells us Hunt is in denial about his condition and has refused to take medication. She is worried that if released, he might take someone's life.
In the state of mind that he's in now, possibly. And I'm afraid that either that will happen or that somebody will take his.
Well, the sister tells us that she hopes this time will be different, but she is really worried that just like all the other times, he will eventually be released. Reporting live from Dilworth.
He will eventually be released. You guys didn't see the videos of the guy, what he was doing. I apologize that I don't have the things like all in like a certain order today. I'm just, we're just hanging out, like a friendly stream, hanging out. There's a story I'm going to get to. Like, here it is. Here's this other one. So this is the story right here. The only reason I can come up with as to why Soros DAs keep releasing these violent criminals is they want to destroy the republic. All right. Charlotte attacker films his own assaults with 14 prior arrests. So here's the guy, all right, running around saying stuff. This is crazy. This woman's just walking down the street, minding her business.
So dummy down shit. What? So dummy down shit, bitch. You wanna run, bitch? You wanna run, motherfucker? Huh? I bet you run again, motherfucker. I bet you run again, motherfucker. You said something else? You said something? You said something, motherfucker? You said something? You playing, nigga? You playing, nigga? You fucking playing, nigga? What's up with that McDonald's shit? You Donald Trump, motherfucker, and that other motherfucker who raped my son Elijah? I'ma fucking kill you, nigga. You a fuck, nigga? You heard what the fuck I said, motherfucker? Shut the fuck up, nigga. Huh? Shut the fuck up, nigga. So
there's another video of a woman getting beat on the ground by the guy. I'm not going to play that one because it's very upsetting. It's very, very upsetting. And you can find it if you want, but no. There's a story here that we're going to talk about, all right? Effective immediately, Department of War has revoked former Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall's eligibility for access to classified information, his ability to hold any sensitive position. His actions follow unauthorized disclosure of classified information regarding Air Force One's capabilities. So, the Democrats hate this country. Frank Kendall, the former Secretary of the Air Force, under Obama and Biden, he worked, was under Obama, Biden, all right, Democrat Party, all right, 77 years old. So, all right. But there's another thing here that is very, 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 very interesting story. Natalie Winters published a story. Yeah, he laid out an older woman and kept hitting her while she was concussed. Yeah, he was just attacking women. Yeah, it was crazy. Yes, 2A is for this problem. Yes. This man was literally attacking white privilege. It's a fight worth supporting. Preferably with all the expense paid trip to a wood chipper, Africa. Yeah, there you go. Could be something like that. So, yes, Democrats are commies at this point, unless they're going to start clarifying it. Carl says, nice job getting it fixed. I watched a repair video. Well, thank you. Thank you. It should have been longer. Like I said, my phone died. You know. Hey, how you doing? Petri Esquire, how you doing? How you doing? I did see someone earlier too. I forgot to say hello to. Where'd they go? Nixie, great to see you tonight. Amber Riley, good to see you too. And Mary was here. Did I see hi to Mary? Well, maybe I missed Mary. There she is. There's Mary. Thank you, Mary, for being here. We need public displays of enforcement. I think we do. But here we go. So top American generals formed a secret back channel with the CCP military intelligence that instructed them, we wish to advocate positions favorable to China. Pet Rescue. Well, okay, Pet Rescue. Now I know. You only have to tell me once. Some ended up on China's payroll. Oh, look at these guys. American participants include Peter Pace, former Joint Chiefs Chairman. What do you know? Bill Owens, former Joint Chiefs Vice Chairman. John Abizaid, former CENTCOM Commander. George Casey, former Army Chief. Ray Odorno, former Army Chief. And Jonathan Greenert, a former Navy Chief. Yeah, we do need to bring the firing squad back. Yeah. Yes, we already know Milley was colluding with the CCP and the Dems most amount of military coup at the end of Trump's first term. Yes, they do. Thank you for the 2 stars, G Sharkman. So here they all are hanging out with them, you see. Remember, it's not enough to be non-communist. One must be actively anti-communist. Yes. You cannot have a more clear example of willing sedition. Oh, this is, I think, is treason. This, I think, fits the legal definition of treason. They took oaths. These men all took oaths to the Constitution of the United States. They broke those oaths. These guys should all be rounded up. They should be making big rocks into small rocks at Leavenworth at a minimum. At a minimum. If it was up to Jim, they would be visiting and taking a ride on old Sparky. Current communism is the solution to the previous communism. You were trying to figure out the stars thing? Yeah, I know. What's my overall assessment on Iran so far? I don't have an assessment. As far as I know, the war's over. I don't know. Oh, Lady Bama, 550 joules. Stay hydrated. Well, thank you. Thank you. I believe that now means that's 5, 6, 7. So that we'll say that's $93 away from a first additional hour and $43 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. Odorno used to be my commander. I can't believe he's involved in any wrongdoing. He was such a good general. What the fuck? That makes me sad. Seems like there was quite a few of them. Thanks. I was worried I got lost in the sauce. No, you're good, man. You're good. Do you think we are doing a financial strangulation with a side of military action here and there? It looks like there might be something happening with Cuba soon. I don't know. I don't know. You know, I don't know what's going on with Iran. I really don't. I'm just, it's long past time that it should have been over. So, my granny used to say, shit or get off the pot. So, right here, they had the Sanya Initiative. All right. Mike Mullen, Rick Larson, Mike Kirk, Admiral Tim Keating, Governor of Hawaii. Oh, look at that. Among others. Well, the former U.S. side, Admiral Bill Owens, General Ron Fogelman, General Danny Raymer, Admiral Joe Porer, General Charles Wilhelm, General John Keane, Chinese retired generals. So it's all these people just hanging out. Chinese generals, our generals. Don't worry. Like Millie said, we'll call you if Trump's going to do anything. So Ron Fogelman, former Air Force Chief. Norton Schwartz, former Air Force Chief. Dennis Reamer, Joseph Pruer, Timothy Keating, John Keane. All these people involved with China. Walter Sharp, U.S. Forces Korea Commander. Charles Jacoby, former NORTHCOM Commander. Charles Wilhelm, SOUTHCOM Commander. Robert Van Antwerp, former Army Corps of Engineers chief. Stephen Lanza, former I Corps commander. Carl Eikenberry, retired Army Lieutenant General. These people are all getting paid by China. The back channel began in 2008 under the name the Sanya Initiative. It was funded by the CUSEF and conducted with CAIFC, a group of congressional investigators identified as a front for the People's Liberation Army department responsible for political warfare. U.S. investigators say CAIFC carried out intelligence collection and propaganda and perception management campaigns, and they paid journalists for favorable coverage. Bill Owens became the operation's leading American figure. 1 year later, the former Joint Chiefs Vice Chairman was consulting for Huawei and pushing CCP propaganda in the USA media. There is only one punishment for traitors. See, look at them. They're all hanging out. Look at this. Oh. Wow. The U.S.-China Sanya dialogue has established military-to-military exchange between retired senior flag officers. Yes, treason is the charge. A wall behind and the bullet is the solution. This is crazy. How do these people not see that this was an obvious intel op to gain entry into comms of high-level commanders? These are the people that are supposed to be the best and brightest, right, that are leading our troops. This makes you wonder why we're having the problems that we have, because if these are the people in charge, and if they're not doing this on purpose, if this was just like, we just didn't know, then they were too stupid to be in these positions. Yes, you can't hate traitors enough. Hey, what's up, Sean? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I wonder how many of them gave Trump faulty intel or advice. A lot. Here's the problem. We covered the story about the retired Air Force general, remember, that was giving information away. These people all retain their... This is a problem. I don't think anybody, all right, that, retired generals or any of these people, there's no reason they should still have any security clearance. There's no reason they should be getting any type of information about anything because they're no longer in a position. It's not like it's a lifetime appointment. They retired. They're not in office. They should get nothing. It's a coup attempt. It was, yes. They're not worth wasting a bullet on. There's plenty of trees. There you go. Yeah. They're all 1 star and above. This is heartbreaking to me, especially Oderno, who I hope is not true. Well, so, Owens publicly advanced positions favorable to Beijing. He defended Huawei, demanded America treat China as a friend, and questioned U.S. arms sales to Taiwan. I object to the way Huawei's been treated. He said it's unfair. Oh, really? Intel is embedded in every aspect of government. Military intel is just as dirty, if not more, than the CIA. Deep state needs them all. Yeah. All generals. The secret back channel did not remain confined to just retired generals. Within a year, its delegates were sitting face to face with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Look at this. There she is, hanging out with them. There's old Cankles Hillary. There she goes. Bring back the pillory for traitors. Good deal. So there's old Hillary. The meetings were not confided to ceremonial diplomacy. The delegation discussed nuclear proliferation, terrorism, military exchanges, and in 2012, the operation reached the U.S. Naval Academy and included sitting members of Congress. Joe says, my clearance stayed active after retirement until expiration date. That's what needs fixing, but they do it so we can get jobs that require clearances. It saves companies money. Yeah, you know what? The government, here's the thing, Joe, and I understand that, but why is it our government's problem to save companies money? If a company wants to hire somebody, let them pay for the clearances. Just saying. I don't know. So Susef said Sanya was designed to build stronger personal relations between the participants. So they wanted strong personal relationships between enemies of the United States. By 2013, it was openly calling the operation an established military-to-military exchange. Huh. Like I said, bring back the pillory for Hillary. Where you been? I had computer problems, Rodney. My computer broke, wouldn't work, so I had to fix my computer. Seems like it's working now. I made a video about it. We'll upload it. If you want to watch it, it's about almost an hour long. So closed doors meetings continued through 2019. Their own records say Americans and Chinese discussed high-risk issues involving Taiwan and the South China Sea, along with cybersecurity, missile defense, and military strategy. Like Phil says, it's easy enough to suspend the clearance and do a quick background check if it needs to start it back up again. Here's the thing, though. All right. It's not even so much about having the security clearances. Why are they getting any information? They should not be getting any information. If they don't need the information, there's no need for it. It should be all need to know. You don't need to know any of this shit because you're not working anymore. So there's no reason to have it. Like, they shouldn't be still getting all this updated information all the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, they can still have the clearance, but they shouldn't be getting information. So Congress was warned about the operation's real objective as early as 2011. The Chinese side said, "We wish we would advocate these positions." American editorials appeared with starkly similarity to what Beijing wanted to be promoted. The operation never ended. In 2023 and 2024, reports show the same closed-door channel continuing under a new label, U.S.-China Military-to-Military Dialogue. The name changed, but the influence network survived. Natalie says, I uncovered the names, the meetings, and the Americans who later worked for Chinese interests. And this smart guy said, this is the definition of treason. Yes. So they all got court-martialed and shot, right? Yeah. It's the constitutional definition of treason. FAR violations. You would think some kind of violations. You would think something like just like, breaking the law. You would think. You would think. But this is this is what's going on, and then it goes worse, Like DC Drano says, first we find out China has secret back channels with U.S. military generals, all right? And then we find out they have American journalists on their payroll. And now we learn that Chinese own big pork, because you guys know that China owns all the pork all the pork producers, the slaughterhouses, everything. It's all Chinese owned now in the U.S. All your pork is owned by China. They want to override state laws to put pigs in crates. Tell China to piss off and stop messing with our food supply. We need to enact Save Our Bacon. That's right. Republicans tell you that American farmers want to smash pigs in crates are the same ones who insist American farmers and ranchers want illegal alien labor. Just know that when they drop that line, that really means they're corporate farms and often Chinese owners. This week may be critical for keeping the Save Our Bacon Act out of the Farm Bill. The Save Our Bacon Act is the pork industry's play to wipe out every state ban on selling pork from crated pigs. Iowa senators would like to try to add it. Call your senators and tell them no farm bill with the SOB, Save Our Bacon Act in it. Yeah, like, why? We don't want pigs treated like this. I don't want pigs treated like that. Who wants to eat something that's been tortured? It's crazy. It's nuts. China is trying to eat our bacon and our lunch. So our pigs can't turn around for 2.5 years that they're in stalls producing piglets. I don't want to ask the Sow if she wanted to turn around. Oh, wow. It's crazy, right? Isn't that crazy what they're doing? Just nuts. It's kind of nuts, I think. So, Greg Bavino, great follow, by the way. Tampon Tim spent 10 plus years teaching Chinese kids in China. Yeah. We shouldn't even be importing meat. No, it's not that we're importing meat. They own all the processing, all the slaughterhouses, all the packing plants in the U.S. Smithfield is owned by China. Hormel, owned by China. They own it all. What's up, Spuds? Good to see you. Since Trump took office, foreigners lost 1.3 million jobs, while native-born Americans gained 1.7 million. That's a 3 million job shift towards citizens. Exactly what people voted for. Now ask the next question the feckless media will never ask. Where did those 1.3 million displaced foreign workers go? They didn't vanish. They weren't deported in meaningful numbers. They're still here, competing for housing, driving up rents, and keeping the labor market looser than it should be. It's crazy. Job gains for Americans are real and welcome, but as long as the people who lost those jobs remain in the country, the housing shortage, the affordability crisis for young people will continue. Welfare used to. You can't fix the middle class squeeze by moving workers from one job category to another while the overall population pressure stays the same. It's just crazy. Hey, look at that. We just got a $5 donation on the Cash App from Lurch Schlinger. Thank you so much, Lurch. That means we're now just $88 away from adding a first additional hour to the show, and just $38 away from Bella Vision. Thank you so much, Lurch Schlinger. That's right. Good morning, my fellow anti-communists. Oh, no, I got to stop buying Hormel chili. China has purchased these companies. They shouldn't be allowed near America's food sources. You ain't kidding. Like, just something has to change. Something's got to give. We can't allow our food supply to be taken over by a hostile power, because that's what they are. They are a hostile power. They are not our friends. They don't want to be friends with us. They want to rule. They want to conquer. They have a plan. Their plan involves, basically taking over everything. Mass deportations aren't optional if the goal is actually restoring opportunity for the next generation. That's true. We have to do mass deportations. Otherwise, that's why these crazy commies are actually getting traction. They've destroyed everything and made it all fucked up, and now they think the solution is to make it more fucked up. And a massive victory since Trump took office, foreigners have lost 1.3 million jobs. This is crazy. It's a crazy number. Right?
Before I entered office, 100% of all new net jobs were going to migrant workers. Think of that. 100% of new jobs were going to migrant. These are government numbers, by the way. These are not Trump numbers. These are government numbers, because they say, well, did Trump come up with these numbers? No, I didn't come up. I'm just migrant workers and illegal aliens got 100%. But since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American citizens. How about that?
Yay! Yay!
Now, how about that? Even I will give myself a hand. Now, think of it. 100% went to American citizens before 100% went to people that came into the country illegally. Again, many of them from prisons, many of them. Before I entered office.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Crazy stuff going on, man. Crazy stuff. It is some crazy stuff. And then you guys saw this, right? You know about Jeanine Pirro. She dropped the charges against that guy, and the people are all saying, "Oh, there was no vandalism on the reflecting pool." Well, turns out there was vandalism. They have proof. Now that people are actually able to see it up close, they report pure vandalism at the reflecting pool. Thank you for your observation, Andrew Layden. The material was cut right where the videotape showed. For 300 feet or more, people were on their knees with their hands in the water at the exact location of the slashes. Additionally, there was witnesses to the vandalism and the flexible area material that was cut with a knife. Jeanine Pirro should revisit her hastily made decision, especially since it turned out the gentleman involved is a big player in Act Blue, the disgraced fundraising scams. Shit, I late. Almost Rackets. Why, is Rackets streaming tonight? I don't know who's streaming. It was just a last-minute Gundam, last-minute show to pop up. I worked on a computer for a couple hours, got it fixed, uploaded a video, decided to just go live. I don't know what's up with Pirro, who got to her. It's crazy. So political hack, Norm Eisen and the crew that uses charity for political purposes. It's illegal. He's been beating Eisen, a complete lunatic. So here it is right here. This guy says, cuts in the expansion joints on the side of the reflecting pool are visible today after the National Park Service removed the fence that has been blocking the view since June. The contractor reported this to the park police as vandalism, but we have not been able to photograph until now due to the fences. I mean, you can see it right here. You can see the cuts. You see the cuts straight across. They're cut right here. Cut. See? The cuts. You can see there's another cut It crossed, and that's that's the expansion joint, and so water got in and got underneath. Another cut. You can see that's a cut. It's a slice. You can see like people were cutting it, but yet, everyone will tell you that no, it wasn't no cuts. No. If this was true vandalism, or they would have showed us these photos weeks ago. Oh, please stop pushing their lies. The contractor dismissed cases concerning the areas of the pool. This is a different area on the side of the pool. The two are not mutually exclusive. The damage to this area and vandalism claims are even referenced in today's New York Times. How the reflecting pool came to mirror Trump's, whatever. So, yeah. Are any of these places where you put your camera and showed it bubbled up? No, these are on the side. They're not in blue parts. These are the gray foam expansion joints. The blue bits are bubbling up elsewhere. So people go, oh, please, this is 24/7 coverage. No one could do that. No one could get away with it. No one could get away with this stuff. Look at this. We got an illegal alien who's charged with raping two sisters who are both under the age of 14. Penguin 6 took those photos. Cool. Well, there is late and gay, and there's late and rackets. JimTellsYou's very upbeat tonight. I'm well rested. I'm well rested. I'm just chilling, talking. They fucked Hong Kong agreement, and we'll soon try again for Taiwan. Oh, they're gonna. Joe says, I don't care. Trump should not have treated her like he did publicly. By January 20th, 2029, he'll have no friends, and Pirro should not be giving conferences if she doesn't have all the info to please Trump. Yeah, no, I agree. So this guy, Samuel Albert Medina Ramos from Guatemala, repeatedly sexually assaulted two girls in Hurricane, Utah. What is going on in Utah? ICE lodged a detainer for this disgusting predator to work he's never released back in our communities. Previously deported Guatemalan charged with raping underage sisters in Utah. Now here's the thing, folks. Previously deported. That means him coming back into the country is a felony. 10 years. It's either 5 or 10 years automatic. It's supposed to be an automatic 5 or 10 years. And it sure seems like a lot of people just get deported again and then come back in again to commit more crimes. I don't like it. It's got to stop. The media will call him a Utah man and say he's a family man. That's what will happen. That is what will happen. That's how they do. That's how they do. Previously deported Guatemalan charged with raping underage sisters in Utah. Can't we just say two girls? Two preteen girls, sisters? Legal alien has been charged with committing heinous sex crimes against very young victims in Utah. Department of Homeland Security, that's DHS, has provided Border Hawk with the immigration history on Samuel Albert Medina Ramos, who was arrested in Washington County on Tuesday. The police were alerted by the Children's Justice Center about sex crimes against two girls under the age of 14 who are apparently sisters. Both victims stated they'd been repeatedly sexually abused by Medina Ramos when he was at their residence. One of the victims reportedly found to have healing injuries on her genitals. Oh my God, that's gross. They arrested him near Cotulla, Texas on June 10th. He illegally re-entered the United States by swimming across the Rio Grande. He was removed on July 13, 2010. At an unknown date and time, he entered the United States for a second time. After previously being removed, that's a felony. Illegal alien crime is becoming prevalent in Utah. Look at this. ICE arrests Mexican murderer in Salt Lake City during worst of the worst targeting. It's just crazy. Here's more of the story from the local newspapers. So One of the victim who was reported only as being under the age of 14, disclosed that he abused her more than once at her residence. The mother of the victim took the victim to medical personnel for evaluations, forensic interviews, and medical exams. So, I mean, can we just say there should be like a wood chipper in this guy's future? There really should. Then we got this story. It says nearly a dozen great white sharks are spotted off of popular Maine beach over 48 hours, largest than I've seen. Wow, this is crazy. Look at this. We've got a 10 spot coming in. Wow. Most people don't understand instant gratification. Much of what Trump is doing is securing success for America's future. Many who come after will take credit, and few will know who laid the foundation. Well, thank you, amazing Grace. That is amazing. Thank you so much. And with that, folks, that means we're now just $78 away from adding a first additional hour and just $28 away from Bellavision. Obviously a white man. Obviously a white man. Make the Rio Grande deeper and put some of those great whites in it. It would work. It would work. It would work. Oh, look at this. Venezuelans deported for first time since earthquakes. Well, I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse. We could just oh, well. Too bad Venezuelans getting deported. So nearly a dozen great white sharks were spotted at a popular swimming spot. It's crazy. Yes, you're going to need a bigger boat. Oh, I saw this story. The transgender. Yeah, I saw that story. It's gross. It's quite disgusting. It's quite disgusting. I think it's actually three. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's actually three transes got arrested for the same, like brutalizing like a 2-year-old. They have self-feeding wood chippers for only $19.95. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hope those great whites showed up at Plaster's Oyster Farm. Could be nice. Seems like the demand for custom wood chippers. It could be. You know what else is in high demand, you guys, right now? Everywhere around the whole country, very high demand for quality protein at affordable prices. And you know where you can find that? You can find it over at www.BillTongUSA.com. You can get yourself premium meats, all right? American made. None of this Chinese shit, all right? Bred in Texas, produced by a very patriotic American family. Yes, an American family in Texas. Producing biltong. If you like a little bit of spice, get the peri peri. A little bit of spice. If you like a lot of spice, check out the ghost pepper or the Carolina Reaper. That'll get you. And they also have other sausages, cabanasi and drawers, and they have other snacks, cakes, candies, and cookies that you can get from all around the world. Anton is the man, and they have the greatest biltong you can get, and it's high in protein. Angus, Wagyu, you name it, shipped to your door. Fresh, fast delivery. Use promo code JIM to save 10%. Head on over to www.BillTongUSA.com and get yourself some premium meats. Tell them Jim sent you. Those 8-ounce bags make excellent gifts. Yes, Anton is great. So yeah, at least 7 great whites were seen at a sandbar off Pine Point Beach in Scarborough on Tuesday. One measuring 12 feet. Wow, that's a big one. And others 8 feet. Wow, look at that. Wow, it's something in the water there. We know it's a place where people recreational fish in waist-deep water. They typically swim right there. I got some onions aching to deglaze in a bratwurst pan. There you go. We're just keeping an eye on it, they said, Granada. And they never seen anything like it. This week's volume is decades long. It's crazy. Some sharks right there, boy. At least 7 were seen over 48 hours. That's a lot of sharks, man. Dozens of young sharks. A 12-foot shark is a young shark? Sharks rarely attack humans, but when they do, they mean business. Yeah, shark fin soup's on the menu, boys.
President Trump is fighting to save America.
That's right. He's fighting to save America. He needs conservatives like you.
Tonight, sharks have beachgoers on alert in Maine. Not one shark, but 7 of them. All of them seen off a beach in Scarborough in 2 days' time. As WBZ's Aaron Parsegian shows us, experts haven't seen this many sharks in decades.
Yeah, up here in Maine, seeing more than a handful of sharks at once, enough to generate intrigue among beachgoers and biologists. And it didn't take long for our photographer, Steve Del Monte, to put up his drone and capture one on video just off the shore here. Off the coast of Scarborough, Maine, this team is heading out to get a closer look at what's been spotted from above. The town's marine resource officer, Darren Granata, says over a period of 48 hours, they've seen more than half a dozen white sharks close to shore.
Okay, got my shot.
Many are juveniles, like this one captured on video by a paddleboarder.
Usually we'll see 1 or 2 here and there. This is a large volume, larger than I've seen, and I've worked this area for 30 plus years.
Granata was on the boat with biologists who scoured the area near a popular sandbar where they've spotted the group, which led to warnings issued by the town.
We know it's a place where people recreationally fish, in waist deep water. They typically swim right there. And then we started flying aircrafts and drones and making sure that we could keep track. And they've been there consistently for the last 48 hours.
And while it's not rare to see sharks anywhere along New England's coast this time of year, some rarities like the volume here in Maine or the different varieties, like this tiger shark reeled off the coast of Falmouth this week, are becoming more common.
Now they're coming up here reliably year after year because the water temperature is hospitable to them.
New England aquarium scientist John Chisholm says all these sightings serve as a reminder of where you are when you're in the ocean.
Be aware of your surroundings and prepare before you go to the beach because you're going into a wilderness area.
Pine Point beachgoers like Mark Coleman say it's something he always keeps in mind.
Well, I don't want to get eaten, but no problem. Sharks are sharks. They'll stay out there. I'll stay here.
Sharks are sharks.
No worries.
They stay out there. I'll
And
stay up
experts
here.
say if you do choose to go into the water, avoid splashing, seals, and schools of fish. In Scarborough, Maine, Aaron Parsegian, WBZ News.
Excellent advice, Aaron. Thank you.
Excellent advice. So if you're going to Maine, stay out of the water. It seems like there's a lot of sharks. So the boaters and beachgoers captured awe-inspiring footage of the sharks. So we got this horrible story here. Citadel cadet, childhood best friend, ambushed and gunned down in vacant Florida lot by a 17-year-old killer. Boy, I tell you, doesn't seem like there's any safe place really anymore. It really doesn't. Just doesn't seem like there's any safe place anymore. Florida used to be a good, safe place. Oh, look at tarantula head. Always be careful of a tarantula head. Citadel cadet Dustin Rose, childhood best friend Samson Campbell, gunned down by 17-year-old Kenyon Rundell in Florida. A Citadel cadet and South Carolina Army National Guard member and his childhood best friend were gunned down in a vacant Florida lot by a 17-year-old killer last week. Yes. We're in an El Nino pattern. Ocean temps have been taking a swing. Yeah, big swing. Crazy is the new normal. Hey, Margie, what's up? Great to see you. So the Citadel cadet and his childhood best friend were fatally shot in DeLand, Florida on Wednesday night. Samson Campbell came home to DeLand to mourn his family dog who recently died. Dustin Rose joined Campbell to spread the dog's ashes. So they just wanted their dog. His dog died. They were going to go spread the ashes on a lot. The 2 men were fatally shot in an industrial park, and their bodies were found at 10:40 p.m. The suspect, 17-year-old Kenyon Rundell, was on the loose for a week before he was taken into custody on Wednesday. Baby shark, boop, boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, baby shark, doo, 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 baby shark. Got that song stuck in my head. Dun, 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 dun. Rundell's been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Investigators are still trying to determine a motive. Well, the motive is right there. I mean, think about this. What would the motive be if the races were reversed? If two black men, young adults were killed by a 17-year-old white kid? They would immediately say it was racism. Immediately they would say it was racism. Doc says, it's a super El Nino. I'm praying Central Colorado gets way above average snowpack so we can put a dent in this blasted drought. Well, that would be great. I've known a few good men with similar style, but they would be the first to warn you about these killers. They're there, man. So the 17-year-old suspect wanted for double murder, killing Citadel cadet and another teenager, has been arrested. Kenyon Rundell was taken into custody without incident in Manatee County. Hey, man, that's not too far from me. And was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder for the July 29th deaths of Dustin Rose and a 19-year-old Citadel candidate and 18-year-old Samson Campbell. Samson. Police said officers responded at 10:40 to at July 29th, a report of 2 deceased people at a vacant industrial property. This is just crazy stuff, man. That they said he was a person of interest following afternoon after reviewing surveillance footage from the scene. Authorities say a search warrant was executed Saturday night, led investigators to clothing and an e-bike that Rundell was using on the night of the killings, along with digital evidence that allegedly tracked his movements. Law enforcement on Wednesday announced that they arrested the 17-year-old. Police say they knew each other.
To where we are today. With that being said, in a little bit, I'm going to announce that an arrest has been made in this case. At this time, I will be releasing all of the information that we can regarding the murders, the investigation, and the arrest. Please understand that this investigation is still active. Any details that I leave out now are not being shared for the purpose of protecting the integrity of the case and our ongoing investigative efforts. To summarize, on the evening of Wednesday, July 29th at approximately 10:40 p.m., our officers responded to a report of 2 deceased persons located on a vacant industrial property at the rear of 213 West New York Avenue. The investigation into both of the individuals' deaths began immediately, and our team of DeLand PD investigators worked through the night and into the next day, and as I said, nearly nonstop until today. By the following afternoon, July 30th, we had already obtained, through our investigative efforts, surveillance footage of an unidentified person of interest. We continued to work with our federal, state, and local law enforcement partners to gather evidence and information leading to the execution of a search warrant late Saturday night, August 1st. This search warrant was executed by the Volusia County Sheriff's Office SWAT team. During the search warrant, our investigators recovered clothing that we believe the suspect was wearing and the e-bike we believe he rode to and from the crime on the night of the murders. Other evidence that revealed his actions directly following the murder and evidence that positively identified him. Unfortunately, that evening, the suspect was not home when we served that search warrant. A warrant for the suspect's arrest was obtained on Sunday, August 2nd, and we began to actively seeking to arrest him. To learn of his new location, we worked with the FBI and the U.S. Marshals Service Fugitive Task Force. Through our investigative efforts, we learned and determined that he had likely fled outside of our immediate jurisdiction. The U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force took the lead and began investigating Sunday, which ultimately led them to the west coast of Florida this morning. With that being said, I can now announce the following arrest. Kenyon Rundell, age 17 of DeLand, was taken into custody this morning by United States Marshals without incident in Manatee County, and he is facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. He is currently in the custody in the Manatee County Prison. A transfer order will be issued, and he will be returned to Volusia County at a later time.
Manatee County Prison or
I want to
Manatee
stress
County
that
Jail?
additional arrests may be made in this case. Investigators are focusing on any individuals who may have planned, aided, or otherwise assisted Kenyon in perpetrating the crime or concealing or destroying evidence of the crime, or anyone who may have assisted him fleeing or who may have been harboring him. All of these actions are violations of Florida state law. At this time, we cannot speak to the exact motive, and we have limited information that points to why or for what reasons the three of them came together at the rear of 213 West New York Avenue in that very
tell us what
concealed
you know.
area of our downtown. What we do know is that these young men knew each other in some capacity and met up on Tuesday evening, July 28th at that location, and that this meeting resulted in the shooting of multiple rounds and the murder of Dustin Rose and Samson Campbell. We hope that his arrest can bring some sense of justice to the families of Dustin and Samson for the loss of life that they are experiencing. I am extremely proud of the work of our DeLand PD investigative team has done thus far. I hope our residents can rest better knowing that the suspect has been found and arrested. I want to thank publicly the FBI, the United States Marshal Service, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, and the State Attorney's Office for their help in this investigation. We were only able to apprehend him so quickly thanks to their partnerships. Finally, I want to thank our community. We have received over 30 tips on our Crime Watch portal throughout this process, and we are grateful for their support and all the information that our citizens have provided, which has played a pivotal role in solving this case in our investigation.
What I'm going to do, because there's so many people in this room, is I'm going to ask you to raise your hand and to say your outlet and your name, so that way if me and Casey need to follow up with you afterwards, we know who to follow up with, okay? So go ahead and raise your name, and your hand, and we will point to you when we're ready.
Demi Johnson, WFTV. Did you guys find weapons on either the victims or the suspect?
We're not going to release any information about what we found at the crime scene at this point in our investigation.
Ken Lacombe, West 2 News. Where was he found in the Tampa area? Was he with family? Who was he with?
I do not know. He was located in a residence there, I believe. A hotel. I'm sorry, a hotel. The Marshal Services here. He was located in a hotel in Manatee County.
How does 17-year-old rent a hotel room?
We do not.
That's a question.
Chief,
how does 17-year-old rent a hotel room? Who rented the hotel room? They can charge them?
Serve a search warrant at a home in on Loudon Street there, Glenwood Springs. You said you found clothing you believe he used there. So was he a foster kid in that home?
I don't have any knowledge of him being a foster kid.
Oh, he's a foster kid. So that means, oh man, that means he was probably had a hard life. So here's more on the story from Fox 35.
Rundell is now wanted in connection with the double murder of two teens found shot to death at an industrial park last week. Investigators say 17-year-old Keon Rundell is wanted on 2 counts of second-degree murder. The charges stem from the deaths of 19-year-old Dustin Rose and 18-year-old Samson Campbell. Their bodies were found last Wednesday night, at 213 West New York Avenue. Police say both of them had been shot to death. The president of Citadel College said on behalf of Dustin Rose, who was a student there, quote, "I'm saddened to share the news of a passing member of class of 2029, Cadet Dustin Rose. He was preparing to return to campus as a team leader and was valued as a friend and classmate." Police describe Rundell as 5'10", weighing about 110 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Authorities warn he is considered armed and dangerous and the public should not approach him. A reward is being offered for information that leads directly to his arrest. And if you know where he is, you're urged to call 911 or contact the...
Well, they already got him. JimTellsYou and Jimbo for 10. Thank you. Hello. Oh. So that means, I believe... Hold on a second. All right. We were 78. Did I do something wrong? We were 78 away from a first hour and 28 away from Bellavision. Now we're 18 away from Bellavision and 68 away from a first hour. Somehow I got all screwed up there. So thank you. We're still 18 away from Bellavision. No, thank you so much. Probably a good hotel with pimps, probably. But here, we can get a little Bella for a little bit. I'll give you a little Bella preview for 5 minutes or so till we little Bella for that 10 spot there. Thank you. What's your thoughts on Tucker's new party? It's a scam. Tucker's a scam. They're all scammers. So rest in peace, Dustin Rose and Samuel Campbell. They were ambushed and shot and killed by a 17-year-old. Wow, it's terrible. Just terrible. Got this story too. James O'Keefe. I don't know how that happened. Did anyone see about Ace's canine, bless his heart, lost a front leg? No. No, I didn't see that story. Oh my God. So O'Keefe undercover video reveals how easy it is for two non-citizen criminals from Iran to vote in Michigan. One was an active voter, is in jail. The other was getting ready to vote again. Look at this. Wow. Gang affiliation of Tiny Rascals. The Tiny Rascals, they're like the Little Rascals, but not the Little Rascals, they're the Tiny Rascals. Wow. Wow. Undercover video shows non-U.S. citizens from Iran allowed to vote in the Michigan primary.
Is it okay if I'm not a U.S. citizen? It's okay for me to vote? All I know is you're registered to vote here. As long as I'm registered, I can vote, right? Yes. Perfect.
OMG has discovered multiple non-citizens from Iran registered to vote for the 2026 Michigan primary.
All I know is you're
election.
registered, so you can
Local
vote.
police told us that this is an abandoned building, September 8th. Hello. Do you guys know if this is an abandoned building?
Yeah.
When's the last time people lived here? You just drank here? Both of these non-citizens from Iran, a country we're at war with, are also on the Department of Homeland Security's worst of the worst list.
Last name, please.
Last name, Haritash. First name, Fazwallah.
Yep, this is the right place.
One of them is still incarcerated for felony child sex crimes. Yet another reason that it is illegal for him to vote.
Oh, let's catch this guy. All this, I'm gonna run off time.
You can see, we got the cars over there with the rims were being looked at. These guys are staring at us. What's more, Michelle admits into a hidden camera on primary day in Dearborn, Michigan on August 4th that he's about to vote.
Your name is Mr. Afshin Michelle, right?
That is correct.
Are you interested to vote?
Yeah, we're going a little bit later.
Despite being a non-citizen. And Michigan poll workers on August 4th were happily prepared to hand these non-citizens voting ballots.
So I have a felony. I'm a sex offender. As long as my name is there.
If your name is here, you can vote.
Oh, man, that sounds like that's a crime.
Visitor visa from Iran in 1991 was ordered removed following criminal convictions and remained subject to a final order of removal. Afshin Micheli was also arrested by ICE in June of 2025 as a step toward the removal. Michigan's own voter roll data told us that Micheli voted in 2016, 2020, and 2024 despite his non-citizen status. We were able to confirm that Micheli is still registered to vote. Our undercover journalist visited Michelle's polling location inside the McDonald Elementary School in Dearborn, Michigan, to see if this non-citizen from Iran would actually be able to vote if we simply stated his name and we told them that we were a non-citizen.
Hi, how are you, brother?
I'm good.
He said, Alaikum salam. They're doing all the laka badaka durka durka.
I came for the vote. Can you check if the name is if showing in the system?
Oh, you have your ID with you?
I didn't bring it. But can you just check if the name you have it over there?
What's your last name?
Last name is Masheli, Masheli. And the name Afshin.
Yeah, you're in here.
It's in there, so I can vote today.
Yeah. You need to fill the back of this.
Right. So the question is it okay if I'm not a U.S. citizen? It's okay for me to vote.
All I know is you're registered to vote here.
As long as I'm registered, I can vote, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
The election worker there openly tells our undercover.
And he smiles with that duper's delight smile. Why isn't this guy arrested? This guy should be arrested. Arrest this man. Arrested this man. Arrested this man. This is possible USA. I'm used to voting with ID or passport. Very strict in Europe my whole life. It's crazy. Durka a la Jakarta. Yes, Durka. Should be arrested. Yes. Should be arrested. Arrested very quickly.
Cover journalist that the name Michelle is allowed to vote in the primary election despite the fact Afshin is a non-citizen from Iran. But we wanted to take it a step further and say out loud that Afshin is not just a non-citizen from Iran, but also a convicted sex offender.
The other thing, I have a question. I have a felony. Can I talk to him, please?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you see, this is what's happening in Michigan. This is why they're refusing to turn over the documents. You know, this crooked Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, who's running for governor, she was in the House committee and she refuses to turn over the documents. You know, we're doing everything we can to ensure non-citizens are able to vote, and only U.S. citizens. That's what they claim. There's no evidence that non-citizens are voting.
What is the red line, right? Democrats say that there is not a significant number of non-citizens registered to vote, but yet there's still evidence of non-citizens on voter rolls, right? So we're being told by Democrats that it's not a significant number, but yet they're still on the voter rolls. So I'm going to start, I guess, from right to left, left to right, and just, I guess, tell us, what's the red line? What is the number that we think makes it significant? What is the number that would require the federal government to implement policies to prevent non-citizens from voting in our elections, one of our most sacred rights?
Congressman, it should be a zero tolerance policy. In Florida, in 2000, 537 votes separated President Bush from Senator Gore. Small numbers matter in elections. Our current Speaker of the House lost his first race by 2 votes. If there were 3 illegal votes, that is overwhelming to his race. There should be a zero tolerance policy when it comes to non-citizens.
Agree, zero tolerance. Every year, dozens of elections in Ohio come down to a single vote, and those are usually local elections, but those matter. We say every vote matters. We mean that, and we should not allow any non-citizens to be on our voter rolls.
I agree 100% with the previous 2 comments. Zero tolerance.
Agreed, and it is already illegal for non-citizens.
Oh, it's illegal.
Vote, and I completely agree with that.
I agree as well. We're doing everything we can to ensure that non-citizens are not able to vote and that only U.S. citizens vote in our election. And it's working. There's no evidence that non-citizens are voting. If they were, it would be easy to prove since voting records are public. And despite numerous organizations spending a lot of money to try to convince.
They're refusing to turn over the fucking voter rolls. She won't turn them over. She's a lying. See you next Tuesday. Yeah. Yes. It's already illegal. Yeah, it's already illegal. The 537 vote number is false. There was a number after all the cheating attempts. The courts granted all the BS Gore wanted. I hate when they say that. Yeah. They didn't. Trump needs to deputize volunteers to get all these people out of here. Bring back retired pilots to fly them the fuck out. I'm so sick of it. Me too.
People that non-citizens are voting, none of these groups have actually been able to provide any evidence.
Oh, we just saw the evidence right there. We just saw it. So Benson denied illegal aliens or non-citizens are voting in Michigan. She told only U.S. citizens can vote in our elections. There's no evidence of non-citizens voting. So the smug Democrat used a ridiculous study to prove her point that it's impossible for non-citizens or illegal aliens to vote. And here she is. So she assures the vote that non-citizens will not be able to vote. Wow. Yeah, Google Dodge County election fraud. It's crazy.
After the last election, many have been asking about election integrity. Some are also wondering who's able to vote and who can't, specifically when it comes to non-citizen voting. Joining us now is Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. It's always good to see you. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, we want to point out that the Secretary and her team have agreed to come on at least once a month to really kind of sit down and talk to you, the Fox 2 viewer, about questions that people have. And people have made this into something that it's not. And I want to give you an opportunity to tell us what you mean when we say non-citizen voting.
Well, only U.S. citizens can vote. And first, I'd say thank you for having me. It's really important in this era of misinformation that we equip every citizen with the information they need to know to be informed and engaged in this particularly critical presidential election cycle. And this is one of the examples of how in this moment there's going to be a lot of misinformation.
She's the one giving out the misinformation.
injected into our political discourse to try to provoke fear or even confusion about who can vote and what's actually happening. And
there is no confusion about who can vote. Only citizens can vote. So how is that confusing? Only United States citizens can vote. It's not confusing. You're the one making it confusing by saying, oh, yeah, well, but they're registered. But you can't be registered if you're not a citizen, so they're registered. So that means they're a citizen. No, they're not citizens. Prove it. Why? We need the list. Well, you can't have the list. It's public information, but you can't have it.
can we trust the results of the election to be an accurate reflection of the will of the people?
Sure.
And in this case, you have this question of what if ineligible people are voting? What if people who aren't citizens are voting? The reality is only U.S. citizens can vote in our elections, and we have many checks in place to ensure that the law is followed by everyone.
And, you know, the risk that some of these
What are
people
those
take
checks?
to be in this country, not be a citizen, and try to commit fraud in order to vote in an election,
So they're saying that people that are in the country illegally, they won't risk to commit fraud. They won't risk to break the law. They won't sell drugs. They won't murder people. They won't rape people. No, we see those every day, those stories. Yeah. Oh, okay. So problem solved. She says only citizens can vote. No one will attempt to violate the law. Nothing to see here. Yeah. That's why, murder is illegal. So why do we have any gun laws? Because it's already illegal to murder somebody, so everyone should be able to have a gun because you can't use it to kill people, right? Why do we have gun laws? Yeah. States have colluded to give away driver's licenses and register them as demon rats. Yes, that's true. We had a sheriff, a commissioner, and I forget, but yeah, they got caught. So she is she's a liar. She's allowed to run her own election when it's clear Michigan voter rolls are corrupted. It's crazy. In Detroit, Michigan primary day, we caught voter fraud and have the documents to prove it. So, yeah, O'Keefe was able to get Eminem's ballot, which I don't know. That was like cutting it close to maybe he broke the law. You got to be careful when you're doing this stuff. Gotta be careful when you're doing this stuff. So, mother and two transgender biological men charged with horrific torture, murder of mentally handicapped 7-year-old Ohio boy. This story is so upsetting. So upsetting. So upsetting. All right. Like, horrible. Horrible. Before we get to that, we're going to cover this. So, more trans violence and more death. A woman and two men identifying as trans have been charged in the brutal, violent death of a 7-year-old boy. The boy was found with duct taped in the closet. He had injuries consistent with being beaten. All three have their bail set between $1 and $1.1 million.
Detective said that this is one of the most disturbing child abuse cases he has ever seen. We revealed the pictures and the names in our morning show as breaking news, but the details that you are about to hear are difficult and they are very disturbing. Prosecutors say the 7-year-old suffered abuse for more than 2 months before his death on Thursday, telling the court all three defendants lived together in the Madison Avenue apartment and shared responsibility for caring for this child. They say that the boy was kept so isolated, neighbors didn't even know that a child lived inside the home. The officer who did speak in court told the court that the child suffered injuries consistent with repeated beatings. He was held underwater, suffered burns, and was found restrained with duct tape.
In my 21 years of law enforcement experience, this was probably one of the most disturbing examples of child abuse that I've witnessed in my career. This obviously remains an ongoing investigation. We anticipate additional charges pursuant to autopsy results and further interviews that we're conducting.
So all three of these women, Caitlin Evans, Nessa Keeney, and Kirby Ranklin, pled not guilty in court. A judge set their bonds at $1.1 million on that murder charge and the child endangerment charge for each one of these suspects.
It's 2 men, I believe 2 men and a woman, not 3 women. It might be 3 men. Who knows? Obviously, one's a woman because it's a mother. So biological men and a mother for the murder of a mentally handicapped 7-year-old boy. There is not any place that should be safe for these people to be. It's 3 women, but 2 identify as trans. No, it's 2 men that identify as trans women. They should put a millstone around their neck and throw them into the deepest part of the sea. The Lord dictates this. Somebody was punching that one in the eye, you could tell. Nessa, Kirby, and Caitlin. A Cincinnati mother and 2 transgender biological men have been charged with the murder and child endangerment in the death of a 7-year-old mentally handicapped boy. Months of severe abuse. The biological mother, along with Nessa Kearney and Kirby Rankin, were arraigned Friday in Hamilton County Court. 3 individuals have been charged with the murder after a 7-year-old was found dead inside a home. The boy's mother was arrested alongside Kirby Rankin and Nessa Kearney, 2 men pretending to be women. Prosecutors told the court the 3 defendants have been co-parenting the child. They've been co-beating the child. Probably the most disturbing examples of child abuse he's ever witnessed. Neighbors had no idea the child even lived there. Rankin confessed to his involvement in the abuse and implicated Evans and Keeney as active participants. Bonds were set at $1 million for the murder charges and $100,000 for the child endangerment. Evans' lawyers claim she did not cause the death, but failed to intervene to save her son. Yeah, cinder blocks are pretty inexpensive. Yeah, millstones are pretty expensive, but cinder blocks cheap. The biological father of the boy was present in court and confronted Evans, saying he had trusted her to care for their son. The child had been kept for him for months. Willie was my life. I trusted you to care for him. They kept him from me for the past 9 months over lies. Shovels are cheaper. Well, vultures got to eat too. Rankin's lawyers requested a competency evaluation, citing documented mental health issues. So it's going to be another case of people get off because they're going to say, they're mentally unfit. So look at them. They're clearly crazy. They think they're women. That's where we're at, folks. This is the world we live in. Ilhan Omar agrees with Bernie Sanders' lie that no serious Democrat running for office really believes in defunding the police. So as the demon rats run on for defunding the police and abolishing prisons, Sanders and Omar are now trying to distance themselves from it. Yes. The stolen hormones did it, probably. A box of matches free at some places and a gallon of gas, $3.99. Can't get it cheaper than that. It's over a few minutes. Cheapest punishments I can give them? Well, I mean, what's it? Let's be, come on. How much does a 22 cost? Like 4 cents, 5 cents? Right behind the ear. It's like 15 cents. That's pretty cheap. However, the socialist running for that's endorsed by Omar and Bernie Sanders is openly calling to defund the police. This crazy.
Watch what honey does to your type 2.
Oh my God.
Watch this.
Wow.
I'm a diabetic.
Honey.
AR lovers, you need to see this.
You need to see this. Wow, it's a green light.
Here, save me over
Look at it, it's a gadget. Saves lives.
Police officers enforce the law with state-sanctioned violence and then get excused for violating people's rights because they aren't expected to know the law. Minneapolis police spent nearly $5 million implementing trainings, increasing diversity, repairing to strengthen frayed relationships between cops and communities. It didn't work. We have to dismantle police unions and qualified immunity and start funding social services that work with domestic abuse cases, family services, and public education. Our state needs to ensure resolutions and accountability boards where the decision-making power is in the hands of representatives of those communities. And each city should have local control of how they dismantle their police systems to rebuild new community control systems rooted in preventative care and reducing harm. Defund the police, protect Black lives, and build a care community. This is what we need.
Oh, wow. When asked about the growing influence of the communists, they said, you know as well as I do, the right wing, that's their job, right? They'll take what one person said and, put, $80 billion in TV ads. Oh, yeah. Sanders went on to highlight that racism within police departments, the jobs he believes social workers could handle instead of cops. But nobody I know believes in defunding the police. No serious person believes in defunding the police. This is what Bernie says.
Never zero your optic again. What? Yeah, because the U.S. Every swollen prostate sufferer must see this urgent video.
What's really sad is I pay for Gateway Pundit.
Your brand of progressive politics has always been focused on the material needs of working class people. And I would say that to the extent that you've broken from Democratic Party policy, it's usually around economic issues, healthcare, et cetera. There are some DSA candidates today, including some who've won their primaries this cycle, who've also talked about abolishing prisons, defunding or even abolishing the police, abolishing borders. You've never been for any of that. Are you worried that taking those positions, which are unpopular with most voters and even most Democrats, sort of hurt the movement that you've worked really hard to build?
Well, look, people have different views, and what you know as well as I do, that the right wing, that's their job, right? They will take what one person said and put, $80 billion of TV ads on it.
$80 billion of TV ads. Wow.
Supports that. No serious person that I know who is running for office believes in quote unquote defunding the police.
Really? Oh, that's crazy. That is crazy. Huh. Omar, who called for the police to be defunded, avoided the question, said that the messaging around police reform has gotten lost in the void. We still have a long way to go. I think it's sort of what Bernie's speaking of.
If you are seeing this video right now, it is because you desperately need to manifest and attract money into your life.
Yes, I do. I do need to manifest.
Watch this. Same phone, same distance. Two completely different Zoom results.
I want you to listen to what he told Pod Save America.
No serious person that I know who is running for office believes in quote unquote defunding the police. Do we need police reform? Do we need to get rid of racism within police departments? Absolutely. Are there jobs that other people can be doing in terms of mental health, drug addiction that now falls on a cop's shoulders? Yeah, I think we should look at that. But nobody I know, believes in defunding the police.
Do you think that's true? Because there are some candidates that are running right now that have previously called.
Wait, do you see how they ask the question? She doesn't say that's a fucking lie. Like the way they talk when Trump says something and they go that they disagree with, even though it's not a lie. They'll just say like, but no, just, do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? Jim, why'd you skip that ad? She was going to show me how to manifest cash. I need to manifest about $1 million. Oh, me too. No Belly Vision? No, Bellavision, we're still $18 away from Bellavision right now. So there she is. There's Bella. And she's gone.
For defunding the police.
I mean, in the Democratic Party and in Congress, we oftentimes talk about people voting their district. Obviously, there are some parts of the United States back in 2020 that had some reckoning to do in regards to what it looked like to have a public safety that centered actually safer communities. For us in Minneapolis, with the murder of George Floyd, we had to have a deeper conversation about what.
Yeah, okay, Floyd. This woman needs to be arrested. Yeah, and Omar too. What did Bernie miss? How they totally dissed him twice? Yeah, Bernie's a fucking idiot. He's getting paid. He's a scammer commie. She sickens me too. Spew more camel shit. Yeah, they're trying to destroy the republic. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. Totally. Wow. And then British news says the UK Royal Navy warns of a 25% increase in Russian naval activity near Britain. Now, what does this mean exactly? A 25% increase? Was there one ship a month and now there's 2 ships every 6 months? I mean, what is going on here? What are they doing? How do they get these numbers? Where do they come up with these numbers? Yes, they're all disgusting. Ilhan and Burmy look like Muppets, yes. What is the range of near Britain to? It's just crazy. Like, I don't know, like, we're going to talk about it just because, why not? But, Putin, yeah. So the United Kingdom's Royal Navy reported an increase in Russian activity near British waters. So not in British waters, near British waters. According to a report by The Guardian, the Navy tracked Russian vessels increased by 25% last month compared to last year. Russian warships have made repeated voyages through the Strait of Dover and the North Sea. Islamists don't need Iran to have nuclear weapons. Once they take over our country, they'll have all the power they want. So true. Several offshore patrol vessels, as well as helicopters from the 815th Naval Air Squadron and submarine hunting aircraft, were deployed throughout the month to track Russian frigates, the Nostroshmy and the Admiral Gregovich. The Russian warships have been tasked with escorting vessels belonging to Russia's Shadow Fleet, which has been helping Russia evade international sanctions on its oil exports. Likely an additional training component to a regular mission. The Ministry of Defense said Russian naval activity around Britain has increased as the Royal Navy vessels were activated 116 times in the year to March 2026. And the ministry said the diversion of ships from Russia to escort Shadow Fleet vessels meant Russia was using up valuable operational capacity to constantly guard cargo. Russia has been hit with sanctions by the UK on over 500 vessels. In 2025, Russian oil and gas revenues fell by 24%. So they're saying in 2025, Russian oil and gas revenues fell by 25%. And now they're saying they're seeing a 25% increase in the shipping. So you think their increased ships that they're seeing is because they want the money that they lost back in 2025? They're trying to do more shipping? After 2 miles off coast of said land becomes international waters except where international shipping exists. Yeah, I think it's more than that, actually. I think it's not so much. They've already taken New York. I'd have never thought it. It's just crazy. So the frigate Somerset has been monitoring Russian activity in the North Atlantic. So this deployment demonstrates exactly what the Royal Navy exists to do. Just to watch as they do it, because you're not going to do anything. Protect UK and our allies from whenever our interests are threatened. What have you done? Did they do anything? They've done nothing. They're just watching. They're just watching it happen. They're not doing anything. You would think the UK Navy used to exist to protect shipping, global shipping routes. They don't anymore. They don't even have any mine clearers. They don't have any submarine hunt. They have nothing. All their submarines are in dry dock. They're all not even out to sea. I'm immensely proud of every single member of the ship's company for what they achieved over the past 4 months, whether it's tracking submarines, working alongside NATO allies and the carrier strike group, or maintaining the ship at exceptionally high readiness for so long. One ship. They got one ship to sea. That's it. It's been fantastic to bring the ship home after a highly successful deployment. What did you do in that deployment? What exactly did you do? Watch things happen? You watched the U.S. opening shipping lanes. You watched the U.S. protecting shipping. That's what you did. That's exactly what you did. And we got this news coming out of China. Gordon Chang says China's broke and its rulers are desperate. Bad things are going to happen. Well, Jim, the casino opened up on my cruise. Well, no, I know. I mean, there's a difference between like international waters and, you know, the zone of control. Because if you think we would let a Russian submarine come within 2 miles of the U.S. coast, oh, no. No. About the only ships available are the ASW, cannot engage ship to ship. China's broke, the rulers are desperate. If anyone would know, it's Gordon Chang. Why? Because he's Chinese. Beijing is launching a wave of aggressive revenue-raising measures to fill its empty state coffers instead of addressing the structural economic flaws. The regime's solution is to ruthlessly tax Dragnet, targeting wealth everywhere it can find it. On top of auditing ultra-rich offshore trusts, Chinese mainland authorities have now begun enforcing a 20% personal income tax on Hong Kong insurance policies, triggering immediate panics and sharp sell-offs across the Asian financial markets. Domestically, desperate local bureaus in cities like Shenzhen are using big data tracking to force citizens to repay COVID-era unemployment benefits and pandemic allowances. Wow. From raiding private insurance policies to squeezing ordinary workers, Beijing is treating private assets as its own piggy banks. Well, that's what commies do. That's what the commies want to do in the U.S. They want to just tax the money, take the money. That's what they want. They want to take it. When an authoritarian state squeezes both global investors and its own struggling populace just to stay solvent, economic stability becomes it's an illusion. China is broke. It's been clear for years the Chinese real estate market has been in trouble. China has a population of 1.4 billion, but it's built housing for a population of 3 billion. Many of the mega developments became empty monuments to Beijing's insatiable desire for growth. In Shenyang, farmers have taken over a deployment of empty mansions for cattle grazing. China's Evergrande files bankruptcy. The Chinese real estate market is falling to its lowest prices in the last 20 years. China made maybe a crime. Now everybody is a flight risk. Beijing has quietly redrawn the line between citizen and suspect, and it did it without a single word. With a single word, it's a single word. They said it. Under new regulations on exit and entry, effective September 15th, but already being trailed at some ports. One term appears again and again: may, not, did, not, will, may. If an official decides you may endanger national security interests, industrial security, or technical security, you can be barred from leaving the country. Nowhere does the text define what may actually mean. So they're going to stop people from leaving. They need to keep all the commies in there. That's what we need to do. The vagueness is the point. The power to stop you at the border has been pushed all the way down the chain. Provincial governments, the Commerce Ministry, even county level offices can now decide who flies and who stays. Well, yeah, they're going to let anybody who's coming to the U.S. to have a baby leave. Anybody engaged in birth tourism, they're going to want those people to get the Manchurian candidates. So this is the machinery of a paranoid state. They're jumping at its own shadows. Why now? Because their regime is scared. The economy's sagging. Public anger is simmering. Beijing fears its own people voting with their feet. Engineers and semiconductors, AI and finance should read the fine print. You may be next on the watch list. This is a message to 1.4 billion people, and it's chilling. It's simple. The door's closing. No one will tell you why, but they won't let you leave. If you're planning on leaving China, you better understand the rules before they understand you. They're going to get you. They're going to get you. Let's see.
虽然中共新版的出入境管理措施将在9月15号生效，不过呢，多方消息指出，部分的口岸已经提前实行。新规定大量的使用可能危害等模糊字眼，让限制出境的对象从特定群体扩大到所有经由中国口岸离境的人员。分析认为
，Wow, very interesting, very interesting. Everything's Fine Act is cracking, and this proves it. Now China is going after people and insurance companies' money. Wow. Oh, they'll do it here too. They will do it here too. And then, these crazy people in Texas have a very, very important race coming. And they've got this crazy guy who's got to be a gay man, just pretending he's not. Epoch Times is good information about China. It used to be a lot better. It seems like they might be changing a little bit now that I believe Epoch Times is based in either Hong Kong or Singapore. But I think China has an arm to play in the other. JimTellsYou headlined a Texas Pride event with an 11-year-old drag queen. An 11-year-old drag queen. Wouldn't that be considered a crime in Texas? I know in Florida that's a crime. What's going on in Texas that 11-year-old drag queens are performing? Any updates from CENTCOM? I haven't seen any updates from CENTCOM. I mean, I guess I could look if you really, really want. I mean, all I got from CENTCOM is, just talking about we'll look in a second. We'll get back to this. We'll get over to this one. Started in San Diego. That's child porn. Yeah, it started in San Diego. Yeah, but I think now I've seen a lot of. I think they've been purchased by a Chinese something either because What's my thoughts on Oman? I don't have any. So this LGBTQ festivate that included the absolute cutest and youngest drag performers, an 11-year-old drag queen named Queen Kiki. Oh, God. Oh, I wonder if Tellurico was, Senate candidate JimTellsYou headlined a Pride event with an 11-year-old drag queen. Ugh. The Demon Rat running for Senate headlined the festival that included the cutest and youngest drag performer. Wow. The Pride event was held June 26th with Taylor Pride, a group in the town of Taylor, Texas. The event was put on to raise money for rural LGBTQ communities. Tellurico, as well as Queen Kiki, whose real name is Keegan, were one of the largest attractions for the event. Not only will this amazing preteen be performing a number at the Texas Beer Company, but also host Kiki's Storytime. Wow. Tellurico is currently running against Paxton for a Senate seat to replace John the Rhino Cornyn, who lost to Paxton in the primary. So this drag queen teen was seen doing the splits in the video, and Tellurico was seen drooling and then ran to the bathroom to take care of himself because he's a creep. Tellurico's attendance at the event underscores his most progressive past, including comments such as God is non-binary. Yes. So that's what Texas has coming for him. Again, it's child porn. Oh, it is. It is. It's gross. Yeah, House Democrats are going to target Trump-aligned businesses as part of an impeachment strategy if they gain power in November. So calling 11 a teen is sickening. It is. It's sickening. Sickening. Oh, thanks, Jonathan. So House Democrats are looking to the midterms. They're laying the groundwork for wide-ranging oversight strategy focused on businesses and financial entities connected to President Trump rather than pursuing immediate impeachment. Oh. Why not immediate impeachment, someone might ask. So Democrats and committee staff have discussed relying on hearings, subpoenas, and document requests to pull records from firms linked to Trump's political and business network. Oh, we're not going into this to impeach. No one wants a failed vote on day one. The focus is on building a body of evidence through investigation that can hold Trump accountable. For what? Republicans currently hold a slim House majority, but Democrats may flip the House in November. A majority will also mean more subpoena power for the Demon Rats. The Demon Rats expect the White House to restrict requests aimed at the executive branch, but see companies, contractors and financial firms doing business with the administration are more viable path for the information. You don't say. The White House responded to reports saying that Trump has worked to stop the radical left agenda, and the White House official said that the administration is prepared to respond to oversight requests no matter who is in the House or Senate. The source who spoke to the outlet said that Apple, Alphabet, Palantir, Blackstone, BlackRock, as well as companies owned by Elon Musk, have surfaced in discussion with the demon rats. You don't say. You might wonder why. Elon Musk decided that he's going to spend a bunch of money to make sure the Democrats don't win the House. Because, you're going to, we're going to go after your business. Oh, we're going to go after your business. Maybe, just maybe, we might not let you. So groundwork for these investigations is already underway, according to the report. The demon rat leaders have begun sending letters to companies and telling them, they're requesting records, setting the stage for subpoenas. Robert Garcia pointed to what he characterized as a questionable Pentagon contract benefiting the president's sons. Profits tied to Trump's crypto ventures and favorable arrangements for Trump donors. Vowing that demon rats would combat corruption. Really, like you combated the Biden corruption, the 10% for the big guy, like you did there. Where's all that Ukraine money? Where's all that laundered Ukraine money? Where'd that go? However, the companies are free to disregard the requests as long as the Democrats remain in a minority, meaning the midterms will determine what takes place. So maybe these companies might want to protect themselves. If investigations uncover evidence that we believe meets the threshold, we will not hesitate to move forward. This is like they're not investigating crimes; they're investigating per people. This is communism. This is Beria, Stalin shit. Like, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. This is what they do. They're not investigating crimes; they're investigating Trump. Just like they investigated all the times with the impeachment shit before. This is all they're doing. Again, go seat by seat. Where is this vote that will give the majority to Dems? The gain is in California and Florida can counter that. I don't think we lose either. It's been wrong, but hope not now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems Tennessee might have cut it a little close in Tennessee. Because that guy Andy Ogles lost his primary, and he was a good America First type. Somehow he lost his primary. So they're doing the whole Soviet style. We're going to investigate to find crimes. Chinese Americans from adherents of Falun Gong own Epoch Times. Oh, okay. Florida gubernatorial candidate James Fishback claims Byron Donalds is under federal investigation, but he's not. They said Byron Donalds went to some like a hotel or something. They're like, oh, but there's prostitutes in the hotel. Hey, I got news for you. Any nice hotel in Florida, there's prostitutes at the Byron Hotel. Pretty much any nice hotel in the country, there's prostitutes in those hotels. This sounds like the Democrat playbook, courtesy of Letitia James. Yeah. This Fishback guy's a real piece of shit. All right. Real piece of shit. No. Department of Justice and Byron Donalds campaigns have both denied the claims. In a video statement, Fishback claimed a government whistleblower came forward, tying Donalds to an ongoing federal investigation into Corey Mills, and claims the investigation centers around federal sex trafficking. Details of the DOJ investigation into Mills reported last month remain unclear, but what we know is it's focused on his finances. It has nothing to do. It has to do with his finances around the shit that he was doing when he was smuggling people out of Afghanistan and other places. Fishback alleged the investigation has expanded into U.S. Congressman Byron Donalds, claiming that Donalds and Mills both believe they have solicited, procured, and paid women for sex acts. Oh, at the MGM National Harbor Resort near Washington, D.C. Oh, you don't say. Oh. So you're saying there was hookers at a resort in Washington, D.C. So NBC News reported that a Republican congressman was under criminal investigation by the Department of Justice. The government whistleblower who approached my campaign has confirmed that this investigation is now expanded to include Byron Donalds. Federal prosecutors are at the final stages of this investigation. They're going to soon charge both men. Oh. The Department of Justice denied the claim, accusing Fishback of making a false accusation, which they called a dangerous form of weaponization. This claim's not true, and Byron Donalds is not under investigation. So falsely accusing someone of being under investigation is a dangerous form of weaponization. This claim is not true. Congressman Donalds is not under investigation. Fishback announces Byron Donalds is under investigation. Wow. Because why did he announce it? Oh, because innocent until proven guilty. Just saying. Well, no, this is because Fishback is getting his ass handed to him in the primary, and so early voting just started today or yesterday, the 8th in Florida. So get this out there quick. Get some people who don't pay attention. Oh my God, this guy's Epstein. San Diego was always Republican until their movement through indoctrination. That's what happens. So it's a baseless, defamatory sideshow. This is sick, man. Investigation launched after more than 50 decomposing bodies found in a Chicago funeral home. A funeral home on Chicago's South Side is under investigation after more than 50 human bodies were discovered decomposing inside. Discovery was made after people who live in the area began complaining about a putrid smell. One local news outlet on scene reported authorities wheeling bodies out of the building. More than 50 bodies decomposing. So, a Southside funeral home, more than 50 bodies. Cook County Medical Examiner said state and local officials were alerted to improperly stored bodies at South Chicago Chapel. Investigators and forensic pathologists who responded found remains in various states of decomposition. Staff is assessing the conditions of the remains, searching for documentation regarding identification of the decedents as well as death certificates. Well, I wonder if these are any people that they don't have death certificates for, if these are like dead bodies that they were hiding. Were these murderers that we're just gonna bury, stuff 2-3 people inside a casket? Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation said the conditions included rodent and maggot infestations, adding that the lack of refrigeration causes bodies to decompose. In a video report, one woman who lives near a funeral home says the smell has been an ongoing issue.
Breaking news tonight, a disturbing investigation at a Southside funeral home. Just in the last 10 minutes, Cook County officials confirmed more than 50 decaying bodies were found there. This is happening in the South Deering neighborhood. Our crew's spotting police who had the street shut down. And the medical examiner's office says their work here will continue for days. Our Victor Jacobo joins us live with the unsettling details we're learning tonight. Victor.
Yeah, Erica, police have been out here in the South Deering neighborhood for hours, focusing on the South Chicago Chapel and going in and out. We've seen officers wearing face coverings to cover their nose and mouth going in and out of this building. And as you mentioned just minutes ago, the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office is saying that forensic pathologists and investigators spent much of the day here focusing their investigation here. And it's that issue of how bodies were maintained that prompted this investigation.
It just stinks all the time. It's so bad.
This neighbor, who only wanted to be identified as V, tells us she's lived directly behind South Chicago Chapel near 95th and Exchange Avenue for about a year.
That's Escanaba.
And constantly experienced what she describes as a disturbing smell.
I don't know, like a dead mouse. It stinks.
According to the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation, the funeral home director's license was suspended because of deplorable conditions, including rodent infestation, causing decomposition and maggot infestation of the bodies. According to the Secretary of State website, the business license of
Willie Nelson, thanks for stopping by.
Lists Clark Morgan as a president. We know his wife, Joanna Morgan, was a funeral director here as late as May of 2025. Her license suspended just yesterday.
We stopped by to get someone. We don't know what's going on at the moment.
CBS News Chicago was there as staff from Emmanuel Funeral Home and Cremation Services arrived to retrieve a body from South Chicago Chapel, unaware of the investigation. The staff said they had spoken with South Chicago Chapel earlier, but had not heard from them since.
We talked to them the first time. They picked up, they talked to us. They said they'd give us a call back after that. There was no call. We kept calling. So we decided to do a wellness check to see what was going on. And this is what we
A wellness check.
We did call the funeral home as
well
as
thanks,
the
Vince.
owners, but did not hear back. Now, as for what happened,
Thanks for stopping by,
next, the
Vince.
County Medical
Make sure you hit the like button, everybody. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to the channel.
The decedents that are located here. That includes things like locating proper identification and death certificates in order to make sure that they get them properly disposed into the right
Disposed of.
Once
That's what we do. We dispose of bodies.
Again, that's set to
Or do we
take
bury
several
bodies?
days, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office.
Get them properly disposed of. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, does anyone make a wager? Some of these bodies, they might not have death certificates for. These might be bodies that didn't actually, they were hiding. This is not a good neighborhood, 95th and Escanaba. I'm just saying. This is not a good neighborhood. This is a very, very, let's say, Nation of Islam type neighborhood, if you know what I'm saying. You know, Farrakhan. You know, it's the guy who came. He looked very Farrakhan-y. And look at this. We got a smelly immigrant identified as a suspect arrested on murder charges in Portland ICE facility area shooting. You don't say. We had a shooting at the Portland ICE facility, and it's a smelly migrant. The suspect arrested in connection with the fatal shooting outside Portland Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility earlier this week is a smelly immigrant, according to online records. Mohammed Mahmoud Syed Ali was taken into custody Saturday morning. Ali has been booked in the Multnomah County Jail on felony second-degree murder and unlawful use of weapons charges. Wow. Authorities are investigating a homicide outside the Portland ICE facility. Police described the victim as a male who sustained multiple gunshot wounds, and died on the scene.
ICE not involved?
No.
Yeah, didn't think so. Okay, thank you.
ICE not involved? Nope, ICE not involved. Didn't think so. So Portland police said that detectives learned Ali's presence at the 13,100 block of Northeast Gilson Street. Investigators requested assistance from the Bureau's CERT team, crisis negotiators. They identified the victim as a 42-year-old Anwar A. Osman. So this was probably smelly on smelly violence, who sustained multiple gunshot wounds. Maybe this is probably like tribal stuff. Some tribal stuff. You know what I'm saying? Lisa Faldersack for 440 Jules says Uncle Alert. That would mean, folks, we are now just $64 away from adding a first additional hour and just $14 away from Bellavision. We're just 14 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much for the Unc Alert. The killing occurred Tuesday at 4:10 a.m. Sergeant assigned to the Police Bureau's Central Precinct was on routine patrol when he spotted a vehicle had crashed into a building. Simultaneously, community members were calling 911 to report shots fired in the area. The sergeant and the responding officers approached the vehicle and found an adult male driver unconscious and suffering from gunshot wounds. They pulled the individual out and performed life-saving measures. Unfortunately, the adult male was pronounced deceased at the scene. They said the shooting appeared to have occurred at a traffic light at South Bancroft and Macadam Avenue. I would say macadamia, but it's not. It's just macadam, which is located near the front of the ICE facility. Ali lists his hometown as Mogadishu, Somalia on his Facebook account. Police said Portland is his main residence. A man accused of shooting and killing a male victim has been identified as Mahmoud Syed Ali. Mogadishu, Bandar, Somalia. Well, I guess we should probably some tribal shit. So they released out to ICE and HSI for more information about Ali's background, but nobody's getting back to him. This is a sickening story here, which I don't know if we're going to be able to play it or anything because there's been like issues with Fox News playing videos for some reason. Oklahoma teen accused of raping 2 girls walks free. The DA furiously calls in the feds. It made my blood boil. Jesse Mack Butler completed a youthful offender plan. Then double jeopardy now bars further state prosecution. Well, the 8th was my mama's birthday, so happily heavenly birthday for her. But she would like to say, lay with dogs, wake with fleas. That's what they say. The demon rats put middle-class black citizens in the high-rise apartments after eminent domain. Yeah, that's what they did. My parents watched it all growing up in Chicago. Yeah. Well, I watched a lot growing up in Chicago. Like, I don't think...
We're ready to
Oh, wow.
obviously tell our story, too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
And if you'll just have him step out.
Okay. Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah. So we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be very long. But there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put in handcuffs?
Violent harassment, child transport, somebody in custody.
What? Yeah, just rape 2 people.
You know
No.
what it is. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just rape 2 people,
I'll get you out for me. All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay.
Wow.
So he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail. And if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Yeah.
Stillwater Police Department
we're the ones
on
that-
Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let them know that
perfect.
we're the ones that take him out.
And
They
when
don't-
you say we are the ones-
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and go with the county.
Awful experience for a child. That's Jess. See you there.
So, an Oklahoma teenager accused of sexually assaulting and strangling 2 high school girls saw his criminal case dismissed after completing a youthful offender rehabilitation plan, all without serving a prison sentence. He was 17 when charged as an adult in Payne County in March, with 10 felony counts tied to alleged attacks on 2 girls he had dated. The charges included 2 counts of attempted first-degree rape, 2 counts of rape by instrumentation, sexual battery, forced oral sodomy, 2 counts of domestic assault, and battery by strangulation. Prosecutors later added an 11th count, alleging he violated a protective order. Butler's attorneys asked that he be certified as a useful offender or alternatively treated as a juvenile. The court denied the juvenile request but approved useful offender status. On August 25th, 2025, Butler pleaded no contest to all 11 counts. The judge found that he entered the pleas knowingly and voluntarily. There was a factual basis for them. The court pronounced a sentence of up to 10 years on several counts, but placed Butler under supervision of the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs instead of sending him to prison. The sentence hung over him while he completed a court-approved rehabilitation plan. Review hearings records from December 2025 and April 2026 said Butler remained in compliance with his rehabilitation plans. After a final review of the hearing, he should have been saying his prayers instead of raping 2 girls. This is crazy. It is. Seriously. This is crazy. So the court jurisdiction expired when Butler turned 19 at midnight, causing the case to be dismissed by operation of law. The final hearing turned contentious when defense attorney Derek Chance suggested Butler was innocent and was victimized by the case, according to the newly elected Payne and Logan County District Attorney. Today's hearing included disingenuous assertions from the defense regarding the defendant's innocence, that he was the victim in this matter, and that the victim's assertions were false. He had no bearing. The defense portrayed that somehow the perpetrator suffered more than these victims. What was said was insincere, untruthful, and an affront to the victims and what they've endured. Nothing has made my blood boil more. Gregory said Oklahoma cannot prosecute Butler again because of constitutional protections against double jeopardy. He announced that his office would instead refer the matter to appropriate federal agency for prosecutorial review. Said, I cannot undo what's already been done, but I can and will continue to stand as a strong voice for all victims of violent crime. This whole thing, no federal charges have been announced. So Fox News Digital reached out to the Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs and the attorneys and connections for comments, but nobody's gotten back. I don't know. I mean, if he did this stuff, he should went to prison. We got this story. A judge halts an $800 a day fine against investigative journalist Catherine Herridge for refusing to betray confidential sources in a China-tied case. Catherine Herridge secured a major, though temporary, victory for press freedom after a federal judge clarified that she doesn't have to keep paying an $800 per day contempt fine while her legal team asked the Supreme Court to hear her First Amendment case. The court also denied plaintiff Yang Pin Chen's request to increase the daily fine to a staggering $5,000 and ordered that the money Herridge has already been paid be returned. Herridge announced in a statement, District Court has clarified that I don't have to pay $800 daily contempt fine for refusing to disclose my confidential sources while our team asked the Supreme Court to hear our First Amendment case. The court also denied the plaintiff Yan Ping Chen's request to raise the daily contempt fine to $5,000. Jim should sing a riff of what? Stray cats are playing on a fence tonight? Oh, yeah, good story about the SPLC. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good story. So this is a case about a woman. All right, this case is this Chinese woman, whatever, Yang Pin Chen. She was involved in programs and schooling for military, and there was I believe she was charged with facilitating some stuff where they were stealing information and doing things where stuff was going to China, and some stuff happened. Somehow the case got dismissed or screwed up. The case is much bigger than one journalist, one story, and one outlet. The outcome will impact every newsroom in the country. Yet critical evidence remains hidden from the public and under seal from the district court. At a time when many corporate media outlets choose to settle or pressure journalists to surrender their notes, I want to acknowledge that Fox News will continue to stand behind me and fully support the First Amendment. Heritage ordeal stems from her 2017 Fox News reporting on Yanping Chen, a Chinese scientist and founder of the University of Management and Tech at Virginia Department of Defense funded school. Series examined Chen's prior service in China's People's Liberation Army. How is she a Chinese American if she was a member of the People's Liberation Army? We have rules about communists becoming Americans. Statements on her U.S. immigration forms and questions about whether her school, which enrolled American service members using Defense Department tuition assistance, could have been used to gather information of interest for Beijing, because it was. The FBI had conducted a multi-year counterintelligence investigation, searched her home, and no charges were ever filed because the Biden administration was on a fucking payroll of China. Chen later sued the FBI and federal agencies under Privacy Act, claiming officials illegally leaked protected information about her to the media to damage her reputation. Unable to identify the alleged leaker after years of discovery, Chen's lawyer turned their fire on the journalist. They subpoenaed Heritage and demanded she name her source. She refused. U.S. District Judge Chris Cooper, who was nominated by Barack Obama, held Heritage in civil contempt in February and imposed an $800 a day fine designed to break her will. The D.C. Circuit later upheld the contempt finding. You don't say. So you got the Obama's judges and the D.C. Circuit trying to get China to find out who's talking. They're trying to help China. The Supreme Court denied Heritage's emergency request to stop the sanction from taking effect. Brett Kavanaugh said he would have granted the stay. But the district court has now clarified that the fines are paused through the denial of any timely petition asking the Supreme Court to review the case or through the completion of the Supreme Court proceedings and if the justices agree to hear it. The judge also ordered Heritage's previous payments returned. That's good news. That clarification matters. It prevents the contempt sanctions from becoming a financial bludgeon before Heritage has exhausted her opportunity to seek review from the nation's highest court. We need to find out, who dropped the case against this woman. Clearly, the Biden administration protected their friends in China. Their friends in China. They have China syndrome friends. Menti. The China syndrome of friends. Menti. So, many stories here. Oh. Hold on 1 second. I got to look for something here. You think Dodge County might not be bad after all? China proper spelling of theft. Yeah, can happen. Can happen. Federal judge rejects the SPLC's bid to dismiss a fraud case brought by the Trump administration after the left-wing organization claims Vindictive prosecution. Great, you have to update your son's computer? Oh, well, that happens. What is this? A federal judge has rejected the bid from the Southern Poverty Law Center to dismiss the Trump administration's case against the left-wing nonprofit as vindictive prosecution. This comes after the Department of Justice under the Trump administration charged the SPLC with wire fraud and alleged the organization defrauded donors by paying money to basically pretend that there was a bunch of violent, racist groups when they were paying them to do this, to do the dirt, to do the diddy, to do the dirt, to do the diddy dirt. Yes. U.S. District Judge Emily Marks wrote in the order that the SPLC failed to prove that there was any animus on the part of the prosecutors who brought the case, despite being critical of statements made by President Trump and other high-ranking officials. Do you have any Iran stories tonight? Looks like Oman has made movement. I haven't heard any. I don't have any Iran stories tonight. I don't. No. Federal judge has rejected the SPLC's request to dismiss its criminal indictment. The court also denied the request to examine the DOJ's reasoning for bringing the case. The court has little trouble concluding that the SPLC offers insufficient objective evidence that Mr. Davidson or any of the prosecutors in the Middle District of Alabama was vindictively motivated to indict the SPLC, nor does the SPLC provide evidence that Davidson was directed to bring the present charges. The indictment brought against the SPLC accused the organization of wire fraud, bank fraud, as well as conspiracy to commit money laundering. This investigation started under the Biden administration. Then the Biden administration said, no, just stop doing what you're doing. We're going to close it off. Prosecutors said that despite the claims of innocence, the SPLC was secretly paying informants in groups such as the Ku Klux Klan, the American Nazi Party, all those bad people. The SPLC actively led donors to believe that their donations would be used to dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC hid from donors the fact that portions of their donated money was going to be secretly funding extremist groups. These activities were the same nature as the activities by which the SPLC published articles on its website and other forums in an effort to obtain donations. So they were funding things in order to get more donations so that they could fund more things to get more donations. It's crazy. It's just crazy talk, man, that this stuff keeps going on and on and on, and there's no stop to it. It doesn't seem like. No stopping it. There's no stopping it. It's just crazy. In response to the decision from the judge, the SPLC said, while the SPLC is disappointed in the outcome, we will continue to vigorously defend ourselves. The SPLC will continue to fight hate and will continue to envision and create a safer, more just world. You were fucking paying hate. The actions by the DOJ will not shake our resolve to become to keep shaking people down and committing more fraud. Yeah, that's what they're doing. More fraud. Trump turns the screws on Switzerland, and new U.S. tariffs expose the price of defying America first. President Trump is turning up the economic pressure on Switzerland, imposing new tariffs of up to 12.5%, while accusing the European nation of failing to effectively prevent foreign-made goods produced with forced labor from reaching the American market. Yeah, racism is rooted in the idea that most white people supported the practice of slavery, which was not true. It's not true at all. Less than 1%. Less than 1% of the American public owned slaves. Less than 1%. Some of those were black people. One of the largest slave owners in the Confederacy was a black man. He's like the richest man. Spent his whole fortune fighting. Look it up. So the move was announced at the end of July as part 2 of Trump's aggressive trade strategy. It treats access to the enormous U.S. market as a powerful bargaining chip rather than a limited privilege for foreign exporters. The Trump administration's justification was direct. Switzerland does not effectively prohibit the importation of products made with forced labor in other countries. Wow.
U.S. President Donald Trump announced new tariffs on dozens of countries that the U.S. claims failed to properly stop forced labor. The new duties, which range from 10 to 12.5%, will replace global tariffs that rolled out earlier this year and expire on Friday. The tariffs announced on Thursday will affect 60 economic partners, including China, India, and the European Union's 27 member states. Together, they account for 99% of U.S. imports. Trump had already imposed double-digit tariffs on almost every country in the world last year, but the Supreme Court ruled in February that the U.S. president did not have legal authority to do so. As a result, the administration had to pay refunds, and instead Trump announced temporary tariffs of 10%. These have now expired and will be replaced with the new tariffs. The decision has already drawn widespread criticism from impacted nations. However, the new tariffs are considered more resistant to legal challenges than the previous.
Wow. Okay, so that's good news, right? So Washington is not accusing Switzerland of using forced labor domestically. Rather, dispute centers on whether Swiss law and enforcement are strong enough to prevent products made with forced labor elsewhere from entering Switzerland and subsequently reaching American consumers. Switzerland immediately rejected the U.S. allegations. Switz's leading business association also condemned the measure, arguing that there's no evidence that Swiss supply chains are being used to circumvent American restrictions on forced labor products. But the latest tariff should not be viewed as an isolated dispute. It's just the latest chapter in a larger confrontation between Washington and Bern that began with Trump's determination to address what he viewed as unacceptable trade imbalance. The conflict erupted into the open in August 2025 when Trump imposed a staggering 39% tariff on Swiss imports. We have a $40 billion deficit with Switzerland, and I view it as a loss.
We should be paying the lowest interest rate of any country in the world, because without the United States, you don't have a country.
Hey, what's up, Charlie?
I mean, I had a case with Switzerland. We happened to be in Switzerland. Maybe I'll give you a quick story. But they were paying nothing. They make beautiful watches, great watches, Rolex, all of them. They were paying nothing to the United States when they sent their product in. And we had a $41 billion deficit. $41 billion with this beautiful place. Flew over it, isn't it nice? So I said, let's put a 30% tariff on them so that we get back some of it, not all of it at all. We still have a deficit, big deficit. We had 41 million. That's a big deficit. And I said, let's put a tariff on. Different tariffs, different places. You're all party to them. In some cases, victims to them. But in the end, it's a fair thing. And most of you realize that. But we put a 30% tariff on Switzerland, and all hell broke loose. They were calling, I mean, like you wouldn't believe. And I know so many people from Switzerland, incredible place, incredible, brilliant place. But I didn't realize that they're only good because of us. And there's so many other examples. I mean, us, probably other places, but a majority of the money they make is because of us, because we never charged them anything.
That's right. We never charge them enough. We got to charge them something. We got to charge them something. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody who was here. Please hit like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. There will be a show Sunday, tonight, Sunday night. I don't know what time. Probably a little bit later. So we'll see what happens. Probably, 9, 10 o'clock at night, Sunday night, something like that. Earlier than tonight was, but, not the normal 7. Then Monday, 7 o'clock show, Monday night. I'm going to send everybody over on both Rumble and on YouTube to see a friend of mine. Her name's Katie. She does a show. She's got a panel over there. Go on over and say hi. She's got just a few people watching. So maybe if you guys all go over there and say hi to her, and, she'll be very excited. And she'll sing some Dolly Parton for you or something like So thank you all for your generous donations. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes and all that stuff. And come back tomorrow. Come back later today because it's Sunday right now. Come back later today for Jim to tell you the news.